Hello, this is Roberto and this is the HVAC in my channel. Today we're going to be talking about commercial kitchen exhaust, alright? So let's get into it. So this is actually not a soccer field, even though it looks like a soccer field, it is not. That's kind of interesting. But this is actually commercial kitchen exhaust. So let's start with this. So the main difference, the first thing we need to understand in here, I'm going to put it in white, is the back of the house and front of the house. So I'm going to put in here, this is the back of the house and this is going to be the front of the house, okay? And I'm going to put the same thing in here, front of house, okay? And I'm going to put in here back of house. Okay, so you might be wondering what is this? So I'm going to put in here back of house. Let's put that in there. So this is back of house. All right. So the back of house is pretty much where the kitchen is. So in this location, we're going to have the kitchen. Okay. We're going to have the cooks. Sometimes they have a storage room too. So we're going to have the cooks. We have the, storage. Sometimes we have management. All right, so anything that is not related to the clients, and we having here the kitchen hood, they're preparing the food, and what is going to be the front of the house? So actually that's going to be a little bit the opposite, FOH. All right, it is front of house. This is pretty much where the customers are, right? Customers, the clients' customers, the bar, dining tables, Okay, now I'm going to put this in pink. So now that we understand what is back of house, front of house, back of house, and front of house, we need to condition this place. So front of the house, it has to be a C. C for me means conditioned. In here I'm going to put conditioned, okay, conditioned. So we need to put treated air, conditioned, okay. There is no question about it. And then front of house, for sure it has to be conditioned. But now there's an issue with the back of house, because since you are cooking in here, in the back of the house, you're going to be cooking all your meals. You have to exhaust everything in there. So you have a kitchen exhaust. Okay, so this is going to be my kitchen hood. So this is, I'm going to put in here kitchen hood. Okay, so you are exhausting all the effluents that you are cooking. So in here, I might have my I might be cooking like a different things like hamburgers. So pretty much this is associated with grease. So I'm gonna put it in here a little bit like grease. And if you have a dishwasher, you're going to have no grease but steam. So for example, I'm going to put on this side. So this is overall the idea, right? So if you have in here, for example, in here, chin, like this, see, another box. And this is the dishwasher. So if this is the dishwasher, so you're going to have another hood. And this is going to be not a grease. So let's put in here, no grease. So let's see, vapor, sort of steam. Yeah, see. So that's a different type of hood. So in other words, just let's take advantage of this. This is going to be hood type 1. So type 1, because you need to know what type of hood it is, right? Type 1, pretty much when you're talking about grease. And when you're talking about no grease, type 2. Okay, there we go. Okay, excellent. Now what we have to do is, because of this, you need to exhaust. So in a kitchen exhaust, you need to exhaust. Okay, exhaust air. But depending on the application, you need to exhaust the air. For that, we have different manufacturers. So there is one thing, there is no question about it that you need to exhaust the air. Otherwise, what's gonna happen is, if you are cooking hamburgers, for example, the clients, if it's a fine dining, they will be smelling hamburgers already. What happens if you are on a date? And if you are on a date, you want to be refined. Your date has a nice perfume and everything, right? You don't want the kitchen smells to go over there, right? Okay, so for example, so we need exhaust air no matter what, and I'm gonna call this EA, right? There has to be a way to exhaust air. For example, if my exhaust air after my calculations is say 2000 CFM, I need to exhaust 2000 CFM, okay? And of course, how do I know this is 2000 CFM? Number one, you know what? I'm gonna put in here my representatives, because this is very important to contact the representatives. In here, I'm gonna put rep, or the kitchen consultant, or the representatives. You can contact captive air. See, those are the most commons. You can contact Lauren Cook. As a third option, you can contact Greenheck even for makeup air units or exhaust fans. Greenheck. So I'm very sure if you send them an email, they're gonna want your business and they will provide all the information. But what you need, usually in a project, what they have is, they already have a kitchen consultant. So they already have a kitchen consultant. Unless you do this for a living, they already do have a kitchen consultant. And the kitchen consultant already provides you usually the information of the kitchen hood. So in other words, since you are the mechanic, so what is your job as a mechanical design engineer? You need to condition the air. You need to take care of the exhaust air, number one. And I'm going to put this in yellow again. You need to make sure that you provide a form of makeup air. Okay, so that would be MAU, makeup air unit. Let's just call it makeup air for now. Makeup air, MA. It sounds like mix air. Makeup air. Let's call it MAU, makeup air unit. You need to provide a makeup air unit. But how do you provide that makeup air unit? So usually a rule of thumb is the makeup air unit has to be at least 80% of the exhaust. So in other words, if it's 2000, what is the 80% of that? So if you do 80% of that, it's going to be 1600. So I'm going to put my makeup air unit should be 1600 CFM. And again, how did you get your 2000 CFM? Because, well, you as an HVAC designer, you sent an email to the kitchen consultant, all right? And the kitchen consultant, you requested the cut sheet of the kitchen hood. In the cut sheet of the kitchen hood, it will provide you already what is the CFM that it requires to exhaust. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Captive Air, Lauren Cook. There's also Accurex. There's different types of manufacturers. But in other words, you want to know what is the exhaust CFM, kitchen exhaust, kitchen hood information. And based on that, this is a rule of thumb, preliminary calculation, and then you do the makeup unit. And sometimes they already have this information. Also, you can also work with the representative that they would suggest. The kitchen consultant would tell you, okay, my kitchen hood is based on Captive Air. So therefore, you can contact directly Captive Air. Hey guys, I have this kitchen hood. I have this information. I need the options for a makeup air unit, perhaps 1600 CFM. So what is 1600 CFM? That's going to be 80% of the exhaust air, at least. right? And what's the reason for that? Because if you don't have a makeup per unit, this is gonna be like a vacuum. In other words, you're gonna, if you have in here, what is it? You have in here the door, see the door? You have the door in here. So the clients want to go in. This is closed right now. So the client is gonna go in here. He's gonna try to open the door. He cannot open the door. It's gonna be hard for him to open the door because this building is in a vacuum. Why is it in a vacuum? Because it's exhausting 2000 CFM. So this is pretty much a vacuum. Anytime he's gonna try to open it outwards, it's going to be hard, but then it's going to attract everything. So generally a building shouldn't be like in a negative pressure. It shouldn't be in a vacuum. So that's why this is exhausting air, and then we have to provide a makeup per unit, rule of thumb 80% exhaust air. Now this is also important. So now we're in here, I'm going to put this in pink again. I'm going to put this in pink. So let's do pink in here. This is exhaust air. So there's no question I need exhaust air, and there's no question I need a makeup air unit. All right. But there are different ways. Okay. So one way is this is exhausting, and sometimes the hood has like another option in here to put like an air curtain like this. Okay. Air curtain. So my makeup per unit is going to be right here, and it's going to be dedicated. So I'm going to put this in, I'm going to put this like say in orange. So my makeup per unit is going to be on the roof. So for example, if I do this, that means it's on the roof, right? So that's my makeup per unit. It's on the roof, and this is only providing makeup air to this unit, and it's going to be like an air curtain. So this is kind of dedicated. And whereas on the roof, see, and on the roof, I'm also going to have another unit. It's going to be a rooftop unit that is going to take care of the conditioning of the front of the house. So this is going to be a RTU, rooftop unit. So in other words, we're going to have two units, a makeup per unit and also a rooftop unit. There we go. So this rooftop unit is going to be in charge of, I'm going to put my diffuser in here. Very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. The clients are very happy. Oh my gosh, I'm having a nice date. So there we go. So I'm going to put this like 1, 2, 3 distribution, and then my return around, let's just put it here for now. Returns. See, my distribution is everything. This is conditioned, and this is taking care of the makeup per unit. And I can even put another one in here. For example, just make it conditioned, right? Okay, there we go. Now that's one of the options. So makeup per unit, rooftop unit. The other option is like you can easily have in here your rooftop unit. There you go. There are different options to do this, right? So this is your, depending on the designer. So this is going to be my rooftop unit, and then you can even upgrade this depending on the size, actually, depending on the size of the restaurant. So you can make this bigger. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Just 1 minute. There you go. So let's make this way bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be a big unit, right? It's very big. It's very big. So that's going to be a rooftop unit. Or even you can put two rooftop units, and one could be 100% outside air, the other one could be 50% outside air. I'm going to show you that later a little bit later. All right, so technically this is exhausting. I'm going to put in here, let's put it in pink. This is going to be exhaust air, so let's put exhaust air. This is I don't have makeup per unit, but I have makeup air. So technically I'm going to be having in here my distribution, air distribution right here. 1, 2, there you go, 3, see, and then I'm gonna have more in here, 4, 5. However, I'm gonna add to this transfer air. There we go. So I'm gonna put some grills. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna call this transfer air. Transfer air. All right. Okay, so for this, actually, it's important to think about it. You might be wondering, wait a minute, what's going on with my 80% of the exhaust air rule in here? What's going on with that? So whenever you're doing the transfer air or RTU and you don't have pretty much a makeup per unit, you're just adding outside air to your rooftop unit, mixed air. So I would recommend for you to do this. I'm gonna put this in white. Actually, I'm gonna put in white. This is an air balance schedule. All right, air balance schedule. Balance schedule. You need to check how is your balancing. Air balance schedule. I'm gonna make an example very quickly in here. So for example, if you have one, two, let's put 3 exhaust fans. Exhaust EF, exhaust fan 1. I'm gonna put exhaust fan dash 1, EF1. We're talking about example number 2. Number 1 is different. Number 2 is different. So exhaust fan 2. Okay. Exhaust fan 2. Okay. Exhaust fan 1, exhaust fan 2. We're gonna have a rooftop unit 1. Let's put another rooftop unit just in case. Rooftop unit number 2. Now, what is everyone doing? So, types of air. SA. SA means supply air, right? If there is a supply air, there is a return air, no matter what. You want to treat the air. Now, there is an exhaust air. Exhaust air. And finally, there is an outside air. Outside air. Then, at the end, you're going to have the total. So what is your air balance? So pretty much what we're making is an air balance schedule, and we're going to put examples in here. For example, exhaust fan 1 and 2. Why am I putting 2 exhaust fans actually? Because this is very general. You're going to need an exhaust fan for sure for the kitchen, for the type 1 kitchen hood. So this is going to be an EF1. All right. Remember, if you need exhaust, you need an exhaust fan, obviously. For this washer, you're going to have an exhaust fan number 2, for example. There we go. So for exhaust fan 1, my CFM, let's say, just for the sake of the example, 1300. For this is going to be 1250. See, my exhaust fans in here. All right. And then let's do for the rooftop unit. Okay, for the rooftop unit, it's going to be a little bit different. And you might be wondering, wait a minute, but we only have 1 rooftop unit. I understand. But sometimes in general designs, you have rooftop unit 2, front of the house, rooftop unit 1, back of the house. So that's why I'm making this in general, so everyone is able to understand this and use this as a table or as a cheat sheet. Okay, so for example, in this case, we're going to have, let's do this. Supply air is going to be 4,000, for both 4,000. So, and then we say that my outside air, I'm bringing 1,300. All right, yes, and then in here, I'm bringing 1,500. So therefore, my return air, how much would it be? Return air is going to be 4,000 minus 1,300. That's going to be 2,700. Okay, and then the other one is going to be okay, that's going to be 2,500 return air. Okay, exhaust air, no. So let's put in here no, supply air, no, outside air, no. There we go, we have a total. So in our total, we're going to put in here, what's my total for the exhaust? It's negative 1,300. Exhaust fan 2, negative 1,250. Exhaust fan, RTU 1, we're bringing outside air 1,300 and 1,500. So this is going to be 1,300, 1,500. See, those two. All right, this is my outside air, right? Okay, so what's the total in here? Let's do this math, and I'm going to add that. Let me bring my calculator very quickly. That's going to be 1,300. So let's see, 1,300 plus 1,500 minus 1,250 minus 1,300. That's going to be 250, right? So in here it's going to be 250 positive, right? So we are pressurized. We are not under vacuum. We are not under negative pressure. We are not neutral. We are pressurized, right? And it's interesting because after you do your design, you're going to go through a QA/QC process, right? So in the QA/QC process, the engineer of record would say, hey, I'm stamping these drawings. I don't want you to do 250. I want you to do 500. I want you to do 600. So it's always a very good idea to do coordination with the architect, or I'm sorry, with the QA/QC team. Okay, all right. Now, what I wanted to talk about also in this case is for my makeup per unit, some concepts. All right, so I'm going to put in here makeup per unit, a little bit of a selection. All right, so what's my selection for a makeup per unit? So anytime you're going to contact a representative, he's going to ask you location. What's the location? So it's different if you're doing, like, for example, in upstate New York. So let's put New York. Let's say New York City. It's different if you're gonna have a makeup per unit at restaurant like McDonald's in Miami. Let's put Miami, right? Okay, why? Because in New York City it's very cold, and you're gonna need to have a tempered unit. So in other words, there's gonna be two types of makeup per units, 1 and 2. One is gonna be tempered, and the other one is gonna be untempered. So what do I mean by tempered? You added heat. You're gonna put heated. When it's untempered, it has nothing. Pretty much is a blower, right? It's a blower, which is not a very good idea actually, because if you have untempered air, what if in Miami, oh my gosh, it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside, right? So you are trying to cool the space. So there is actually the cooks, the chefs are working inside this back of the house. And then if you're bringing 100 degrees air directly here, plus the kitchen is very hot, it wouldn't be a good idea. Plus also your RTU unit is trying to condition this place, it's not a good idea. So in other words, you want this to be cooled, right? So different manufacturers, for example, Captive Air, Loring Cook, Greenheck, they have different options. Like they have modular cooling coils, DX, or depends if you want hydronic. And then in Miami, New York City, it's not a good idea. You have to have tempered, you have to have heated, because if you don't have it, then inside it's very cold. And then on top of that, in Miami, if you have, like, say maybe 29 degrees Fahrenheit, you're gonna be bringing air, but that is very, very cold. Whereas your unit is trying to heat the unit, trying to make the people feel comfortable, and then this is going to go against your capacity and efficiency of your performance of your unit that you're trying to condition, right? You're trying to condition the space. So that's why tempered. So for a makeup per unit selection, you have tempered, which is heated, or untempered, which is not heated. And when it's not heated, you have options, right? Cooling coil, DX, hydronic, evaporative, different types. Honestly, to everyone, this video ended up being a little bit longer. I'm gonna have to make another part 2 actually. So this is part 5. I'm gonna make it in part 6. In the next video, I will actually talk about the sizing, kitchen exhaust velocity. I'm going to talk about codes, what codes are related to kitchen exhaust. And also I'm gonna be checking on these websites and the selection tools and all the applications. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and leave any comment, and thank you so much for your support and watching HVAC is my channel. I have now 3,000 subscribers. It's very modest, but honestly I do these videos only for fun and just to share my knowledge to everyone. All right, thank you.